great pleasure to be here in these wonderful surroundings. It's probably come as a surprise to a lot of people in Britain, particularly in the political classes, that Ireland has become a central part of the Brexit debate. It's been met with a mixture of bemusement and condescension. I'd like to explain a little bit today, just, from an Irish perspective, where we start from and why the Irish position is as it is. It's very much going to build on what Bryce spoke about in the earlier part. I'd also then like to just quickly take stock of where we have got to in the negotiation thus far, and conclude, and with less precise prognostication about the future. Bryce explained very clearly how the roots of Irish policy towards Europe are there in the 1960s. So there was a decisive political and policy shift in the 1960s, which came to its next stage when Ireland joined in 1970 European Economic Community in 1973, along with the UK. And since that period, from 1973 onwards, many of the hopes that Ireland had in joining the UK, the European Economic Community, and then the European Union, have come to fulfillment. The economy has become much more diversified. Ireland has found a political voice. It has gained sovereignty by being part of the European Union. And its dependence on Britain in every single way has diminished. And so in 2000, when we are faced with the dilemma of what to do in 2016 when Britain decides to leave the European Union, some very naive people in politics, both in Britain and Northern Ireland, felt that the logical thing would be that Ireland should leave as well. And of course the chances of that, or the political logic of that, is minimal. There is no real support for that in Ireland. The most recent opinion poll says that 92% of people want Ireland to remain as a strongly committed member of the European Union. And part of that is, of course, the whole evolution, not just the economic, not just the political, but people see that Europe and European context is absolutely vital for the Good Friday Agreement. It was vital for, if you like, political equality between the United Kingdom and Ireland. And we've been reminded of that, with the celebration of the 20 years of the Good Friday Agreement. But it's more than that. Helen said, I chair the All-Ireland Civic Dialogue on Brexit. That was set up to give voice to the range of political opinion in Ireland, but also the non-political opinion, north and south. And what that has shown is that ordinary people, or organisations across health, education, and various other things, realise that the European context and how Europe has developed has given them something that they don't want to lose. So that's, if you like, the first point. That's, if you like, our legacy. That's where we have come from, too. And that was the background, on the 24th of June 2016, when this vote took place. And we heard thereafter, in terms of British politics, that Brexit means Brexit. That was the standard line which was going, without elaboration as to what it actually meant, but that was the line which from the British government. The reality, of course, was that they hadn't thought out what the consequences of a Brexit vote was. Ireland had been taking a quite opposite line. We had been very clear we didn't want Brexit to happen, and had expressed that view politically and otherwise. But there had been also a detailed process of contingency planning had also gone on. A major, big document, all government departments were working on this. So as soon as that vote took place, the Irish Diplomatic Service, if you like, leapt into action And over a period of, I would say from June 2016 onwards, there was a very concerted political and diplomatic effort to explain to the rest of the European Union the potential damage, disproportionate damage on Ireland of Brexit. And that laid the background to the negotiating structure which was established in April of 2017, and that ultimately led to the joint report of December of last year, which was, if you like, the major stepping stone. It achieved two things. It said, okay, Britain, we move on in the negotiations with Britain and the UK, Britain and the EU, to the next stage where we talk about trade and other matters. But there was also a substantial section about Ireland. And at the heart of that were two paragraphs in this joint report. Paragraph 49, which talked, among other things, about this famous backstop. If there cannot be agreement, then there would be a backstop arrangement which will include regulatory alignment, etc. The second paragraph, 50, was inserted at the behest of the Democratic Unionist Party to give a commitment that there would not be barriers within the United Kingdom. There would be the union, or if you like, the economic union within the United Kingdom would be maintained. Now, there is potentially a contradiction between the paragraphs. And the only way this contradiction can actually be resolved is if the UK as a whole remains a part of the customs union and probably the single market. And that's at the heart of the debate now that is emerging in recent days as Mrs. May attempts to bring forward new ideas to put on the table with Europe. And how that is to be resolved is the key question. And I don't have an answer to that at the moment. All I can do is say I wish her well in attempting to it, because at the heart of this is the problem within the Conservative Party. And how that can be resolved is the key issue. And my judgment is that up to now, Mrs. May is not facing her Brexiteer colleagues down, she's fudging them down. And so far, she's managed just about to get away with it. But the time is coming where fudge is no longer, there's going to have to be a lessening of the fudge, and I'm coming to an end. And choices are going to have to be made. And that is where I think the Labour Party is going to have to firm up its own position. And also I think the role of Parliament is going to have to become clearer as to where that goes. But for the moment, I think we are faced with, from an Irish point of view, I don't think there is any possibility that the Irish government, I think there's going to be some degree of flexibility, but this is of such fundamental political importance to any Irish government that the possibility of serious compromise on the part of an Irish government is very limited. And that's, I think, where we stand at the moment. Thank you very much.